Okay, house painting. So, people are stuck at home in the States and they have extra time on their hands. So, using social distancing time to get some redecorating done is how some people are spending their forced inside time. So, Nala's working on her downstairs wall space and doing some painting. She has done 2/3 of the walls so far, and it took her 6 hours. She estimates that she has 450 square feet left. What's the total time that she will spend painting the walls? And what's the total square feet that she will have painted? Now, we're going to do this problem by drawing a picture. And it's actually really easy to solve doing a picture, but our goal is to write an equation. So even though we can do it easy with a picture, we're going to make sure we know how to write it with an equation. Okay, so here's my picture. So we're going to pretend it's a rectangle for a second. And the key to this drawing the picture is to go back and read this problem. Okay, she's done 2/3 of the walls. Okay, so I'm going to pretend that this is a wall. I'm going to divide it into thirds. And so if she's done 2/3, that means that she's painted this part and she's painted this part and one part remains unpainted. And it took her 6 hours to do those 2/3. So if it's taken her 6 hours to do of those, then we can kind of go ahead and say that it's taken her 3 hours to do each of those two parts because they would be equal sized. And so this third part, we could assume because it's also equal in size, it would take her 3 hours. And then it says that she estimates that she has 450 square feet left. So that means the paint job that she has left to do is about 450 left. And if that's 1/3, then that means this part here has to be 1/3 and this part here has to be 1/3. So we can easily go ahead and answer these questions from here, but remember our job is to go ahead and write an equation and for this and solve it algebraically. So let's go ahead and do that. Because from our picture we can do it. So what do we have? Well, we have that 2/3 of the wall space. So 2/3 of our wall space. So we have, let's do W for our wall space. So W equals the wall space. And we actually are going to use two different equations because this is two different equations. So 2/3 of the wall space is how much? Okay, 900. Or we could have said, instead of 2/3 of the wall space, we also could go ahead and we could say 1/3 of the wall space is 450. Okay, and we could say that 2/3 of our time, so time painting, is 6 hours. So now let's go ahead and solve these equations. So the inverse of multiplying by 1/3 is to multiply by the reciprocal, 3/1. So 1/3 times 3 would give us W, and 3 times 450 would give us 1350. So the total wall space would be 1,350 square feet. 2/3 times T, the inverse is to multiply by 3/2. So 3/2 times 2/3 would give us 1. It gives us T. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So T is 9. So to write our answers, we would say that the total time, let's see, Nala's total time spent spent painting. Is 9 hours. And the total square feet painted will be 1,350 square feet. Okay, now the hard thing is that all word problems could have different approaches. So sometimes making a physical model helps, like this. Sometimes making a verbal model helps, like some other ones. And sometimes just going ahead and using a formula, like with a geometry problem, is something that we can go ahead and do, or use to go ahead and come up with our equation.